as Real Madrid head coach Carlo Ancelotti has taken responsibility for his team's 3-1 La Liga defeat to Atletico Madrid on Sunday, September 24th at the Civitas Metropolitano Stadium. Atletico Madrid forward Alvaro Morata opened the scoring as early as the 4th minute, and Antoine Griezmann doubled the lead in the 18th minute. Toni Kroos pulled one back for Real Madrid in the 35th minute of the game. However, Morata scored again in the 46th minute to make it 3-1 for the home team. Speaking after the match, Ancelotti said that Los Blancos showed defensive frailties during the game. Ancelotti blamed the team's lack of compactness, especially in the first half, as the reason why his team failed to keep out Atletico Madrid's 3 goals. He also praised Atletico as one of the best teams defensively in the world and commented on how the team is very well organized and strong in duels, while also noting that it is not easy to find space through their defense. Real Madrid are second in La Liga standings with 15 points after 6 games. I want to talk about what the match exposed about Madrid. It has been a big concern for me since the summer window closed. And that has been the fact that Madrid didn't go for a recognizable top-tier striker. They didn't go for a striker capable of delivering for them 25 to 30 goals a season. In the summer that they lost Karim Benzema. In the summer that seemed like if they wanted to, they could have gotten Kylian Mbappe. Instead, they played and hoped for Kylian Mbappe to become free next summer, which he very might well still become if he chooses not to renew his contract with PSG. That particular story is currently has no developments, but we can assume that there are contractual conversations and negotiations going on behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Real Madrid did not go for a striker, a top striker. They went for Joselu, a former Madrid player, graduated from their academy, left the club for a few years, but now he's back, and he's not the answer to replacing, replacing Karim Benzema. Real Madrid famously spent as much as £70 million to secure the signing rights to Hendrick from Brazil, I believe from Santos. But he is a future project. When he comes, he won't even be their top striker. He won't be the main striker. And he won't necessarily start ahead of Kylian Mbappe if he joins next summer. But this summer, Real Madrid have put all of their hopes on this season on top of the shoulders, the very young shoulders of Jude Bellingham, who himself isn't a striker. My worry is that Real Madrid will come to a point in the season where their forward line will become unstuck, because recently, in order to fit their star prized acquisition in the summer into the squad and to utilize what Ancelotti must have decided were very capable attacking abilities, they've been playing him further forward. In the game yesterday, he played next to, in a 4-4-2 diamond formation. He played as the second striker beside Rodrigo. I feel this will eventually come to bite Real Madrid in the ass. And come January, they will end up, probably having to spend heavy to get someone in the meantime. What do you think?
They have to, Real Madrid have to. Before the game, they were flying high. One of the teams in world football that had 100% start to the season. I think it was 5 wins in five. The same thing Man City did. So it was a shock when in the Madrid derby, it was Atletico Madrid dictating all the pace. Morata became prime striker, scoring a brace. In fact, all the goals came through headers, including that of the other goal scorer. What's that his name now? The name eludes me. So I think for Real Madrid, I like the fact that Ancelotti took responsibility, but taking responsibility is really not enough. It's just like saying a referee makes a mistake in the VAR room and comes out days later to apologize. The apology really isn't enough or isn't really what we want. The fact is what there were reasons that could be pointed out to the loss. Change of formation, change of shape. Okay, so they didn't have Caballero as their right back is out to muscle injury, so they brought in Lucas Vázquez. Now that changed the defense line, having Alaba and Rudiger, pairing each other because they also do not have Eder Militao. Now, in the middle of the park, all of a sudden, we are playing Modric and Kroos at the same time. Two old men that have tired legs against an Atletico Madrid side that we know for pressing and defense, which means physicality is needed. How did you not play Tchouaméni? Why are you pairing Rodrigo and William up front as double striker when you have the Joselu you bought on the bench? Although people say you didn't buy him, he's on loan from Espanyol, but he's within your squad, right? And he's a striker. You don't have Vinicius Junior who is out to illness. Why not use players who could give you the job or who could make the job done? He said it himself. We were in his words, they were defensively lackadaisical, and that was down to Toni Kroos, who was the defensive midfielder, right? So a lot of times, Lino was taking Vázquez to the cleaner. Alaba couldn't jump to save his life. All the headers were won by Atletico Madrid players. So it was obvious why they lost. And it's good that Ancelotti is owning it. But to me, owning it is not enough. Do not repeat the same mistake against Las Palmas in the next game.
Could not be available for the match. He supposedly had stomach issues, I believe. I think this match specifically highlighted how Ancelotti has an abundance of midfield talent. Valverde, Modric, Kroos, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and on top of that, the highly expensive Jude Bellingham. All of them seem to be players that must and need to be playing. However, Jude Bellingham seems to be getting game time. A lot of people predicted he might come in and get benched for the first couple of games. That didn't happen. He has started pretty much every game since he came in. And he's up there scoring, creating issues in the box for the opposition. But a lack of a striker as capable as Karim Benzema, especially when you have a match, a derby against Atletico Madrid, Vinicius Junior is not available. Might Real Madrid be suffering from an imbalance in the squad?
So we keep saying lack of striker, but they actually have a striker. They have Joselu. They have other players they also got, even if they may not be the best of names in the world.
This is Real Madrid. This is Real Madrid, the biggest European club in the world, and they've always had a top number 9, the envy of other clubs. They don't have a top number 9 right now. What they have is a low-knee striker with maybe a couple other strikers from their academy, but they don't have somebody who is going to say, okay, Vinicius is not around, I'm going to lead from the front. Because even if Vinicius was around, there's still an imbalance in the front of the club because Joselu isn't on the level of Joselu isn't on the level of Vinicius Junior. He's not on the level of Rodrigo. So when you have a forward line that has the biggest weak point is the number 9. How can a Madrid team that is so used to going into every game, having the opportunity and potential to win it, opportunity to score as many goals as possible. Because in that game, Ancelotti may have been talking about how the team could not defend, but to me, it seemed like they also could not score. They couldn't even break down the defense, and the only goal that came from the sheer brilliance of a long-range shot from Toni Kroos. How does that
Yeah,
not smell of an imbalance?
it actually smells of imbalance. But my point is, you still have to make do with what you have. So are you telling me that the Joselu, who is not on the level of the Vinicius Junior of this world, or the Shiko of this world, would be on the bench while you would choose a Jude Bellingham to be your false nine? It still doesn't make sense. How have they been winning their previous matches this same season? It's by playing a four-man diamond midfield with the likes of Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham spearheading that midfield with double attacking threat of Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior. So if you're having Vinicius Junior going out, Jude Bellingham replacing him is not the solution. He's bringing in another attacker, keeping Jude Bellingham where he has always thrived as a number 10. Right? You can't have Modric and Kroos in the middle of the park and expect defensive solidity. Not in 2023, probably in 2015. Right? So it's still down to the decision of the coach to tweak too much. You probably could have bought in only Modric.
Do you think Ancelotti's hands may be a little tied? He has to play Jude Bellingham because he was bought for so much money, regardless of his age, regardless of whether he believes he's ready to carry the weight of the squad on his shoulder, regardless whether he even fits into the only position on the pitch that he seems to have available to play him without dropping the likes of Kroos or Modric, whom are the most experienced and probably the most talented midfielders in the squad. Do you think his hands are tied a little bit because he has to play Jude Bellingham? And if anyone gets sacrificed, it's going to be Joselu more often than not.
I actually disagree because talking about sacrifice, it was Modric who was sacrificed in the game. The experience we're talking about lasted 46 minutes. It was taken out as the second half was starting. Joselu came in. Why didn't Modric come in the second half? Toni Kroos, who got the goal, was taken out in the 70th minute. Why didn't Toni Kroos also come in the second half? They had game time. They would have also had game time if they came in the second half to manage the game. Right? It doesn't mean you can start only Toni Kroos or start only Modric and try to tweak your squad. The point is about decision making. You need to put in the players that would, okay, remember the AC Milan Inter Milan game. I think it's the Milan derby. The coach of AC Milan, Spalletti, Piloni said that he intended to use Chukwueze in the game instead of Pulisic. Why? Because he felt Chukwueze is more of a physical player that will start the press from the front. Not like Pulisic is a worse player, but Pulisic may not give you that presence when it comes to pressing. In other games when you need flair, Pulisic will come in because he has that. So when you're playing against Atletico Madrid, is Jude Bellingham as a second striker the best possible decision to make just so Kroos and Modric can start? Or bring in Joselu, Jude Bellingham maintains his position, then either of Modric or Camavinga or whoever comes in the second half. And let's not forget, their wing backs were frail. Fran Garcia on the left, Lucas Vázquez on the right. They would never replace Ferland Mendy, who also came in that same game and made a difference, or Carvajal on the right, who we know what he can do for Real Madrid over a decade ago. So I think generally he lost the shape, and he said it himself. He is to be blamed.
All right. Even the manager is talented and experienced as Ancelotti can make mistakes, and he accepts that he made.
After all.
Yes, he is, and he accepts that he made a mistake this time around. I suppose when you have the kind of standard of Pep Guardiola to be judged against, you're constantly falling short.
But see, personally, I think, okay, let me just say this in 1 minute. I think coaches need to understand that everybody is not Pep Guardiola. You cannot try to tweak things, inverted fullback, inverted right. back, inverted defender. If you can't do it, you can't do it. It's the same thing right now. People are complaining about German football and said Pep Guardiola came in to change things. No, Pep Guardiola came in to do what Pep Guardiola did, and he won the league for the totality of his stay. As a matter of fact, the points he attained in 2013, 2014, 2015, no other Bayern Munich coach has attained it up till 2023. Right? So he did what Guardiola would do. You come in and do your own thing, but everybody wants to be Guardiola. Everybody wants to play tiki-taka.
Well, I mean, it cannot be ignored that when it comes to football, when it comes to the development of football styles in any league in the world, whatever starts at the top eventually makes its way all the way down. And many people complained that him coming into Bayern Munich actually changed the aggression level of German footballers, not just in the Bayern Munich team, but at the national team level. And that's some of that is responsible for why the German national team right now doesn't have the kind of teeth it used to have. It's not an endless energy factory that it used to be.
And let me just ask you a simple question. Who won the World Cup in 2014? Which national team? Germany.
It was Germany.
And where was the period Pep Guardiola was there? 2014, 2015, 2013, 2014, 2015. So a guy was in your country and your team won all the leagues while he was there. Your country won the World Cup while he was there, and you are making me believe.
But come on, Joachim Low.
Make it make sense.
Joachim Low had been working with the German national team for a while, building up to that 2014 World Cup. But you know what? I think we're digressing. I didn't mean to make this about questioning Pep Guardiola's influence on the game of football in general and other coaches. But it's always a pleasure having you join us on the show. Before you go, though, I want to say I hope you've been keeping abreast of what's been going on with Toby Amusan. Winning her consecutive Diamond League victory. I mean, Nigerians keep going everywhere and doing it big. We want them to come and do it big at home.
So while we are waxing lyrical about Toby Amusan, allow me put in this conspiracy theory. She intentionally dropped the gun in the final at Bahrain or where she became sixth, just to take the attention from the AIU. True or false? Do you know why? Because this is somebody who won the Diamond League last season, came in this season, was the best all through until she was accused of that issue. Got to the final and became sixth. Toby Amusan became sixth. That is suspect. In the following league, she won it by a landslide. How? It's because she didn't want further scrutiny. So she decided to fail. All right.
Before you get sued for defamation, I'll cut you off right here, and we can say goodbyes. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gbenga. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Have a good evening. To everyone at home or work, wherever you've had the opportunity to catch us on Plus Sports, on Plus TV Africa, I have been your humble host, Mikhail Tinubu. Thanking you and hoping that you tune in again tomorrow and the day after for more Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Have a good evening.